Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about some things that I think everybody's dealing with at this point in their lives. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about some work I've been doing off camera and maybe work on some part of it. You can see the code here, and I've talked about this before. We're going to get a little bit more into it. There's a whole list, as I always say, there's a whole list of things that I could be talking about, and I do this in waves, so to speak. I'll sit down and I'll record about a handful of episodes, edit them, load them up, and then I don't have to worry about it for a while. But I'm getting near my sliding window in the cache, so to speak. So I got to get more done. And it's ironic because right now I probably have even more time than ever to do that because, well, I've always been working from home, but this is, what day is it today? It's the 25th, I think. Yeah, so when I'm recording this, it's early morning, March 25th. And I wanted to get just one or maybe two in before the real day kicks in. But you know, at this point, everybody that I know of in America and pretty much around the world is trying to stay isolated as much as possible. You know, other than the occasional run to the store, which seeing bare shelves, half full shelves in a grocery store is surreal to me. I've never seen this, and it's still that way where I live locally, and that's not a rare event these days either. It's, for talking to a lot of people, that it's still that way in their communities. It's just mind blowing, and you know, the fact that we have to be as not socially distant. We actually want to be very socially present, but physically distant. And for me, it's not that big of a deal. You know, my wife and my family know that I pretty much am just a hermit in my office here during the day, and sometimes I do things in the evening. But I'm not a person to necessarily want to go out every night or, you know, do a lot of things in terms of traveling, or, you know, it's not that I don't mind traveling, it's just, you know, I don't, that's just not my personality. So this is nothing new to me, and I know for people though that don't have a dedicated office at home, they've had to adapt. My wife was telling me that she's seen pictures that people posted where they're using ironing boards for their computer because they literally don't have anywhere else to put it. You know, and my kids are older. They're 15 and 13. So they've been home now for a week and a half. And so they're basically doing like a 3-week period of an extended vacation. But because their actual spring break is supposed to be next week. After that, if the school decides to keep kids away, then they're going to start doing distance learning, which should be fun. But they know that my door is shut. They know not to bother me. They know that I'm working, and so far it's been okay. You know, it's not like where I'm dealing with I'm dealing with toddlers or infants, and they're screaming, and you can't just tell them to be quiet. You know, and there's a lot of people that have to struggle with that. So it's funny in some ways, but there's got to be some, not there has to be, there are people that are just very, very stressed, even independent of all this that's going on, very stressed about what's just trying to manage a family while working. This is obviously something that is not a hoax, is not overblown, is not something that we should take lightly at all. In fact, a friend of mine, I just read this morning on Twitter, Ted Neward, said that his wife started to develop symptoms, and they took her to the ER. They couldn't do a test, but they're assuming that she just has it. I don't know what to say when I hear people that are very nonchalant and dismissive about this. Still, my mind is blown when I hear people talk like that, and it honestly makes me pretty angry. So, it's something that everybody's dealing with. Even if I have a pretty good situation here, it's, the economy tanked. Will this eventually all pass? I think so. I mean, eventually at some point it will, but I don't think anybody should be taking this lightly at all. Being rational about it, being thoughtful about it, not going into a store and buying 5,000 rolls of toilet paper. Let's be a little bit more sensical than that. But people can honestly be stupid and make stupid decisions and not think clearly. You don't have to get that much toilet paper. Just get what you need. It's not like the grocery stores and everything. It's not like everything is completely shut down. So that's been a little. I don't want to rant too much, but that's been a little disconcerting, to say the least. So, VS Live Austin was unfortunately canceled. That stunk. Understood, though. I mean, I don't fault anybody for it at all. It just stinks, because I really, they've been doing Austin for the last 4 years, I think, and then last year they decided to try New Orleans, which is cool because I've never been to New Orleans, but they, for reasons, went back to Austin this year. They canceled it. I love Austin. It's one of my favorite cities. When VS Live does their tour of the U.S., that is probably, that and San Diego are my favorites. I thoroughly enjoy them. So it was really a bummer to find out that they canceled, but understood. The event that I run and manage, along with some other people, Twin Cities Code Camp, we basically are delaying our 24th event till next year. Normandale effectively canceled our event, so we got our money back, which was good, and we've only basically losing on the down payment we did for an after-hours party we put on for the speakers. So it's not, we're a nonprofit. We don't make any money, and so we have to, our margins, so to speak, are very, very thin. So at least we didn't lose that. That was a situation we never had to deal with before in the past. So I can't imagine conferences like VS Live, or even larger ones like South by Southwest and all these and other conferences like that have had to cancel. Just the money and everything that's lost from doing that. And just people enjoy going to them. The next one for VS Live is Nashville. That's in mid-May. I don't know yet. They haven't said anything about canceling it. That's 2 months away from this at this point, more or less. So even if I really got to refrain here, because there's talk already about U.S. lifting these quarantines and stuff by Easter, and the rage that boils within when I hear that. Just anyway, even if like in a month we decide, okay, we've flattened the curve as best as we can, we think we can move on from this point. Even if that happens, I don't know if people are going to want to travel to a conference. So I'd love to see Nashville. I'm almost positive I've never been there. But, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So, I don't know. I guess the point of all this rambling, because I haven't done this in a while, so I started rambling a little bit, but I have more time now. And I need to just say, okay, let's use this. Let's spend some time in the evenings or get up early in the morning like what I'm doing and record an episode or two, because I do enjoy it. So, getting to all this, what have I been doing? Well, I noticed recently that a guy, I hope I get his name right, Imel Landworth, who works at Microsoft, he did a Let's Make a Compiler stream for for a while. I think he did 15 episodes, 14 or 15, and he's pretty consistent with it. And I'm assuming then just work, life, whatever combination of both just kicked in and things got busy, because he hasn't done one for a while. I would say actually probably for almost a year, maybe. I keep looking over here because I'm actually watching. I've watched them off and on, but I'm now starting over again, and I'm watching the first one because I decided, you know what? This thing, this Dub Sharp, this compiler that I wanted to write in whenever, I said, I think it's finally time to actually sit down and try to follow along with what he does and try to apply it here, because I really want to build not an interpreter. Like, I think I may have done episodes on this before where I have this ability to prove out that this engine and everything works. Okay, but I never actually got around to doing the lexing and the parsing and everything else. So I started watching his first episode, and I have some stuff. I've kept it in this thing I'm calling a playground right now, and it's not the cleanest code in the world because it's weird. I'm trying to follow him, and then I will try to apply it to what I need. I'm also kind of like the dog that's like, I have no idea what I'm doing here. I've never had to really write a compiler like this, so it's going to be quite interesting. Right now, I can parse a line like that, as you'll see in a moment. I can't do anything else yet, but I will get there. Well, I can actually do something like this. So it's just going to take some time, but we'll get there. And then I also want to emit a executable. And I've also been wondering, well, the .NET Core and what is now going to be just .NET at the end of this year, this move towards single file executables and whatnot, can I somehow take advantage of that with what I want to do here? Will I automatically just be able to make a single file executable? I have no idea. First things first, though, we got to actually build all this stuff. So let me just run this real quick so you can see what this does. And so let's actually come back here. I'll grab this, paste it in there. Oh, yeah, I don't know what a semicolon is just yet. Actually, I forgot that these whenever programs, that their LineTerminator is I'm glad I just did this, because there is a LineTerminator. Though I wonder, I've got the spec for whenever programs. And do they say, yeah, I mean, every one I see does have a semicolon. So I will need to add that in a moment. So yeah. So there is actually a LineTerminator, and I will need to include that. In any event, as you can see if I come back here, that if I run this, that I now have the expression tree built. And it's weird because what Immo's doing in his language, and like a lot of languages, is that they're actually meant to be somewhat serious, and formal and have good structure and all that other stuff. There's a guy who just wrote a compiler. He's been working on it for a while, and it's called Stark. And so there's a lot of serious effort there, and that's meant to be a very serious language. This isn't. This is meant to be kind of stupid and funny. So there is no such thing as variables at all in whenever. So you can sort of synthesize them in a way with the lines and the defers and everything else to kind of store stuff, but it's really weird. So yeah, this is this took me just some time to kind of think about, well, how do I actually express a line? And so every line of code starts with a line number, and that's what the number expression is. And then there are going to be these other expressions within separated by commas. And so right now, the only one I can do is an update line count expression. That's what this is, okay? And so that's represented by a number, a update line count token, which is the pound, and then another number expression, okay? And so, and I also know how to, if there's commas in there, that I can deal with them. I don't have negative numbers in there yet, but I gotta add that in here just yet. I think that's, again, that's what Immo's doing, is that he's just dealing with positive numbers right now. So I haven't got to the point. I know he handles negative. It's just he hasn't got there yet. So this is good. It's been actually kind of fun to get to this point. And what I want to do in the remaining amount of time is he's starting to talk about an evaluator. Now, I don't want to make this into an interpreter. The real guts of this are going to be a compiler with a real executable. But I also sat there and went, well, for now, I really need something that can do evaluation and at least run this. The problem is that if I create a line expression like this, the only one I could do that's going to be safe is if I had, like, I can't say line 1, then take line 1 and add 1 to it, because it would increase it so that it would spin out of control. What I really want is have, like, line 1 says line 2 needs to be subtracted by 1. And then line 2 says 1 should be subtracted by 1, so then it would terminate. But in either case, I do need to have an evaluator. So I'm not going to watch his video, and that's why I haven't done a recording, because watching him and then me trying to figure stuff out becomes really, really boring time, and I did not want to do that. So what I want to at least do is set up the structure to do something where I can actually generate, like I'm doing with these simple generator classes, a way to build a new line, okay? And for a second I'm like, why do I have because they initially start with all 1 count. That's right. I don't know why I actually specify that, because when you there's got to be a reason when I create a line that you can say more than 1, but they always start with 1. The trick is in this action here is then when I generate it, I'm going to give it like a list of syntax trees, and then for each syntax tree, I'm going to give it an action that will interpret the syntax tree to call on these actions the right things, depending upon what I find. Yeah. So let's kind of do this. We're going to do this in the playground, and we're going to say evaluator generator. Okay. So we'll say public static class. And now this is going to be interesting because I forgot. I need to actually reference, because I don't reference here the runtime. That was on purpose. I mean, eventually the stuff in the playground is going to move into the runtime. Or I'm going to call it, maybe I'll call it actually compiler. I might have a folder in there because he has one called code analysis, because he's following kind of what Roslyn does. I don't really like that name, but I might call that the compiler. Like, have that as a part of my namespace, and then have stuff in there, and then all of it would live within the runtime. That's eventually the plan. Okay. So let's say I want to do something like that. Eventually all that will be, so this just, and then we return that. Okay, so isn't there a way to, no. Yeah, only when you paste. I wish there's a feature that you can do where if you paste in code, you can right away say, bring in all the usings. But right now, there's obviously the need for system numerics. And I wish it would just go, oh, like you need all those, but it doesn't do that here. Whatever. Okay. So what I want here is a list of trees. Okay, so then for each var tree and trees, I want to build a new line. Now, if I remember, if I did 1, 2, 3, yeah, I get a line expression. And then the first number expression is actually the line number. So I'm going to keep that up here for now. Line number is tree.root. Get children first. Where, and this is all, I mean, I'm not trying to be optimized here with my code. I'm just saying kind is equal to syntax kind, a number expression. Okay? Because in line number dot value, all these expressions are the nodes. So line number should be a node. Okay. Oh. Oh, yeah. If it's a number expression, then I can assume that it's a number expression syntax. And then line number token value. So we can say, yeah, we can say here, nope, node. Huh, it's weird that it didn't pick that up. Okay, and then we can do that. And then we'll say var line number is equal to, this is a big integer. Okay, so that gets us that. And then we can put in here, oh, why can't I cast that? Oh, there we go. Because, yeah, they can possibly be null. I made sure I'm using nullable here. It'd be interesting to watch, because Immo's actually doing a webcast today. And he's starting this all up again. One of the things that'll be interesting is because he hasn't done this in a year. If he's done any, because he wrote this. Like this first episode, he actually shows you visual Minsk, because that's the name of the language. Have you ever considered Minsk? It's my best Worf impression. Go to his videos, you'll see what I'm talking about. And he built this, and so then he's rebuilding it as a way to do all these videos. Now we're in like first quarter 2020, and .NET Core is improved. We're at 3.1. There's more things that you can do in the language, like C# itself. And I wonder if he's going to talk about all that, if he's actually spent some time updating his code. You know what? Okay, because I'm a curious bloke, because I'm a curious fella, I wonder if I just look at the history, like when he is commits. When's the last time he did a commit? Yeah, so that was like June 2019. So maybe he hasn't done anything on this. So who knows? There's 11 pull requests out here now. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But I'm using nullable reference types and all the other stuff, so that's what I have here. So this is going to be line number. And I decided to use big integers everywhere. Because I want to. And now the action here is, let's keep that there for now. If I come back here, what I need to find is for each var update line count expression in tree.root. Again, this is not meant to be efficient right now. Select kind is equal to syntax kind update line count expression. Okay. No, wait a minute. Yep, there we go. Okay. So now I have a line count expression, except I need to cast them to an update line count expression syntax. Again, not the most elegant code in the world, but it will do. So in an update line count expression, you want to find the two number expressions. So what I can actually say here is, we can say var line to update equals, then we can grab this, except we're going to get the first. Except we're getting the first in the update line count expression. Okay. And then we're going to do number token.value, because this all needs to be cast as a big integer. Is that not the most ugly code you've ever seen? I've seen worse. And then we'll say count, because this will actually be the last to find. And then we can say action update count. The count is the identifier, which is the line to update, and the delta is count. And we are done. That's it. That's my evaluator generator. Well, that was actually, I don't know if it's going to work or not, but yeah, let's see. If I go back to my program here, right now, no, not that. Let's come back up here. Let's go to program here. And yeah, let's extract this to run REPL. Okay, and I want to pull this code up here. Come on. Okay, and then what I also want to do here now is say private static void run evaluator. Okay. Yes, I know. Okay. So now here I'm going to grab this. So I'm just going to do this once. I'm not going to keep repeating it, though I could. Right now I just want to see, does this actually run? And so now if I come back over here into the program, I'm just going to grab that. Except we're going to use my evaluator generator generate. Oh yeah, I take a list of syntax trees. Okay, and I'm just doing one syntax tree right now. So I'll say new list of syntax tree generic, passing in my syntax tree. Okay, and now here my engine is runtime, and yes, I need to also use speckle. And there you go. And it's just that simple. It's just that simple. I am going to run this in the breaker, the debugger, and let's just see, because I know if I give it a line of code that just causes it to spin out of control, it's never going to stop. So I just want to see, does it at least parse everything correctly? And then I'm going to commit this and move on in the lessons, so to speak. Oh yeah, it's okay. I have to type something in, don't I, Jason? Okay, so let's come back over here. And let's see. Oh, I don't want to do that. That's in the parser. Okay, so we come back here. Reach tree and tree. The line number is that. The line number is 1. Good, good, good. Oh crap. Okay, wait, stop. I didn't do that right. Let's run this again. 1, 2, 3. Come in here. Get the line number as a 1. I stepped in too far. God bless it. Stop. Try this one more time with feeling. Okay, because we knew we got the line number. Yeah, we're within the, okay, never mind. Okay. Oops. Unable to cast object of type system boolean. Oh. I have to say where. There we go. Okay. So now we have that. Line update should be 2, which doesn't exist. The count should be 3. Bob's your uncle. Now if I run this, yeah, it's not going to know what 2 is, which is perfect. Okay. And that's my rule kicking in. But this is actually good. I'm going to stop here because this I now have a way to evaluate it, and as I start building more into my lexer and parser and syntax trees and everything else, I can just go right through here, and now of course it's simple because all I'm supporting are update line count expressions. As I start getting into the use and the prints and everything else, I'll have to add in more, but it's a good start. My cat's meowing at me, so I think that's a good time to stop. So thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.